Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Lenoir County where a mother and daughter are now facing animal cruelty charges. Sienna Stallings is charged with 4 counts of felony cruelty to animals, 2 counts of instigate cruelty to animals, 7 counts of misdemeanor cruelty to animals, and 2 counts of resisting a public officer. Holly Bautista is charged with felony cruelty to animals, 2 counts of instigate cruelty to animals, 7 counts of misdemeanor cruelty to animals, and 2 counts of resisting a public officer. Lenoir County Animal Control says back on August 18th, they got an anonymous tip to check out a home on Juniper Lane in Deep Run. They found several dead dogs in advanced stages of decomposition. Several other dogs were taken into custody due to unsanitary living conditions, lack of proper food, water, and shelter. Now, at that point, officers charged Stallings and she was taken into custody. Last Friday, Animal Control was contacted by several people who said Stallings was caring for their dogs. Officers learned those dogs were being held at the home of Stallings' mother, Holly Bautista, on Edwards Avenue in Kinston. The dogs there were taken into custody, and officers say they're in the process of reuniting the dogs with their owners. Animal Control says their investigation is continuing with additional charges possible. And now we want to turn our attention to the ongoing war in Ukraine, where Russian drones passed over Polish airspace last night. The Poles said that they shot down around 19 of those drones. NBC's Molly Hunter has more from London.
Overnight, there was a major Russian drone attack on Ukraine, and Poland says some of those drones, a huge number of those drones, crossed the Ukrainian border and were shot down above Polish airspace. Now, Polish and NATO air defenses were scrambled overnight to shoot them down. This is not the first time a Russian drone has strayed or crossed the border into Polish airspace. It is unprecedented because it is the first time that one has been shot down over a NATO country. Now, Poland called this an act of aggression. The numbers are still being worked out. And the Russian Ministry of Defense released a statement. They didn't confirm or deny they were Russian drones. They said there were no intentions to engage any targets on the territory of Poland. But the view from Europe, not only was it the biggest violation of European airspace since Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, but they also suggest that it was intentional, not accidental. The German defense minister has said Russian drones clearly were set on course to reach Poland, quote, did not have to fly. They did not have to fly this route to reach Ukraine. There's absolutely no reason to believe that this was a course correction error or anything of that sort. And here in the UK, the defense minister has asked armed forces to look at ways to, quote, bolster NATO air defenses over Poland. Molly Hunter, NBC News, London.
Thank you very much, Molly, for that report. We now turn to your weather forecast, and right now it's gray and it's gloomy, but the light mist right now that was present earlier in the day across many inland areas is slowly starting to fade away. However, humidity certainly on the rise compared to where we were yesterday. Here's a look at your radar picture. Again, it's been a story of just cloud cover so far today. Any sort of raindrops we've seen have been barely visible to our radar because the drop sizes are just super small. The smaller the drop sizes are, the harder they are for our radar to detect. Now, of course, as we make our way through the rest of the evening, a lot of those rain showers, again, will eventually rain themselves out, but they could linger into tomorrow morning as well. We do have about a 20% chance of rain tacked onto your Thursday. Right now, air temperatures generally in the low to mid 70s. We've got a few of us a little bit on the warmer side of that spectrum, closer to the Pamlico Sound. 77 degrees in Hatteras. We've got 76 in Oriental, 78 in Stumpy Point. Of course, we're also looking again at a rise in humidity. Now, of course, our air temperatures are about 10 degrees below our average, but humidity, everyone has seen an increase off of yesterday. And right now, our dew points are on par with where we would normally anticipate them being this time of year. Now, of course, over the past few weeks, we've certainly been below average as far as humidity and air temperatures go. So the fact that the humidity is up and the air temperatures aren't is certainly unusual, but we'll be seeing that humidity fall over the next several days. Today is kind of the last day where we experience a full day of humid air. Coming up for tomorrow, we will start humid because our overnight lows tonight will be staying in the mid to upper 60s, hitting 69 degrees between 10 and 11 p.m. at night tonight. But of course, we will also maintain a northeasterly breeze that will become less dependent on the area of low pressure that's bringing in the humidity the later we get into the week. So by the time we reach Friday, and even Saturday and Sunday, the area of low pressure that's been giving us the humidity is going to be well off the coast. That's going to allow enough space for an area of high pressure off to our west to slowly scoot its way in, and that's going to bring about not only a little bit more sunshine, but drier air as well. Now, north to northeasterly winds are pretty much going to be consistent over the next several days, but wind speeds and general direction will adjust a little bit. By the time we reach your Friday morning here, 7 a.m., still maintaining about a 5 to 10 mile per hour breeze across inland areas, more of a 10 to 20 mile per hour breeze along the coast. But the point being is that that steady northeasterly wind will help keep that humidity low as we get closer and closer to the weekend. Here's kind of a look at the humidity tracker. A lot of that humid air, watch it, there it is right now over the eastern half of the state, very much present. A lot of that darker green fades away as we head into your Friday afternoon. Again, so for your Thursday, it's going to be a transition day, waking up to humid conditions. By the time we get to your Thursday evening, you'll be able to feel the difference, but the real peak of that low humidity air will be coming in on Friday and lingering through Saturday as well. So get used to a little bit more cloud cover coming in for your Thursday and cooler than average air temperatures, but overnight lows falling into the low 60s, even more so into the upper 50s Friday night into Saturday night as well. That's really going to be the peak comfort level of this 8-day forecast. As we head through next week, we'll see those air temperatures come up a bit, but should still stay within our seasonal average range. Well, that's all the time we have for today's 2 p.m. News and Weather Update. We'll have more news and weather right here on the First Alert Desk coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you back here in just a little bit.